Welcome to Fluent Studio.
Learn English the smart way. Speak better.
Hey, stop what you're doing for just 1 second.
Because I want to ask you something, and I want you to really feel this question, not just hear it.
When was the last time someone spoke to you in English and your mind just disappeared, like someone turned off the lights inside your brain?
Maybe it was yesterday. Maybe it was this morning. Maybe it happens so often you've stopped counting.
You studied, you practiced, you know the words, but in that moment, that one real live moment, everything vanished.
And here's what makes it even harder. You walked away, and 30 seconds later, the perfect sentence appeared in your head. Clear, easy, natural.
Too late.
That feeling has a name, and today, we are going to fix it.
But here's what I really need you to hear right now. The reason this keeps happening to you, it is not what you think it is.
It is not your vocabulary. It is not your grammar. It is not your accent. It is not even your level of English.
It is something much smaller, much simpler, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it.
Welcome to the English Today podcast. Take a breath, settle in. You are exactly where you need to be right now.
Today's episode is called Stop Reacting and Start Speaking Better. And by the time this episode ends, something is going to shift for you. Something quiet but permanent.
Big promise, simple truth. Let's go.
Okay, I want you to picture something very specific.
It's a normal day. You're at work or school or maybe a shop, and someone walks up to you, someone whose opinion matters to you. Your manager, your teacher, a customer, a stranger you want to impress.
And they ask you something completely normal. Something like, hey, can you give me a quick update on the project?
5 words, simple question. You've answered questions like this 100 times in your own language.
But this time, it's in English, and something happens inside you, something fast and invisible.
Your heart beats a little harder. Your mind starts moving, but not toward English, toward your first language. You start thinking, then translating, then searching for words, then panicking because you're taking too long.
And what finally comes out is, yes, project is going good.
And they nod, and they walk away, and you stand there, alone with that feeling.
Not embarrassment exactly. Something quieter than that. Something that whispers, you know better than this. Why can't you just say it?
I want you to know something. That whisper is lying to you.
You did not fail in that moment. You did something very specific, something that has a name, and once you know the name, you can change it.
You reacted instead of responded.
And those 2 words, react and respond, are the entire lesson today.
Let's break this down slowly, because this is the heart of everything.
What does it mean to react?
When you react, you act without choosing. Something happens in the world, and your body and brain respond automatically. No pause, no control, no decision.
Think about it this way. Someone jumps out from behind a door and scares you. You scream. You didn't decide to scream. Your body just did it.
That is a pure reaction, fast, automatic, uncontrolled.
And now, what does it mean to respond?
When you respond, you create a tiny space, a breath, a fraction of a second, and in that space, you make a choice. You think, even briefly, and then you speak.
Reacting is automatic. Responding is intentional.
Write that down somewhere, seriously. Reacting is automatic. Responding is intentional.
And here's the painful truth that most English learners never hear.
When you panic in a conversation, when the words disappear, you're not having a language problem. You're having a reaction problem.
Your brain goes into a small emergency, and in an emergency, your brain does not reach for your second language. It reaches for your first.
Every time, without asking you.
So the words are not gone. They're just locked behind the panic.
And the key, the only key, is learning to respond instead of react.
And that is exactly what we're going to learn today, step by step, slowly, together.
Let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about this. Don't just let it pass through.
When someone speaks to you in English, in that very first split second, what's the first thing that happens inside you?
For most learners, if they're honest, it's not excitement, it's not confidence.
It's a flash of panic.
Just a small one, but small fires can burn big things down.
That flash of panic, even tiny, even hidden, it immediately starts stealing from you. It steals words you already know. It steals grammar you have already learned. It steals the calm, clear voice that exists inside you.
And here's the thing that nobody talks about.
The panic is not caused by English. The panic is caused by pressure. The pressure of performing, the fear of sounding wrong, the worry about what the other person is thinking.
So you could have perfect grammar and still freeze because the problem was never grammar.
The problem was the panic, and the solution, the real solution, is not to study harder tonight.
The solution is to train yourself to slow down and respond.
And we are going to give you the exact tools to do that right now.
Okay, first tool. And this one, I promise you, is going to feel almost too simple. You might even think, that's it?
But give it a chance, because simple things done consistently, they change everything.
This first tool is called the buy time technique.
And here's why it matters. When you are in a conversation and your brain needs a few more seconds, most learners do one of two things. They go completely silent, or they start talking too fast and too messily because they're afraid of silence.
Both of those make things worse.
But there is a third option. You say something first, something short and natural, while your brain quietly catches up.
And here's the beautiful secret. Native speakers do this constantly, all the time, in every language, in every country, in every conversation.
You just never noticed it because it sounds so natural.
So here are your buy time phrases. And as I say each one, I want you to feel it. Feel how natural it sounds. Feel how much space it gives you.
First one. That's a good question.
3 words. Friendly, confident sounding, and it gives you a full 2 or 3 seconds while you organize your thoughts.
Next, let me think about that for a second.
This one is even more powerful because it sounds like you are a careful, thoughtful person, not someone who is panicking, someone who thinks before they speak.
Here's another one. So...
Even just the that small sound, it does so much work. It signals to the other person, I heard you, I'm processing, I'll speak soon. It is not awkward, it is human.
And one more. This one's my personal favorite. Well, actually...
Say that phrase and you instantly sound like someone who has something interesting to say, even if you haven't figured out what it is yet.
And by the time you finish saying it, you usually have.
Okay, listeners, this is your first repeat after me moment, and I need you to actually do this, out loud, not in your head, out loud.
Your mouth needs to practice, not just your ears.
If you're somewhere private, even better. If you're in public, a soft voice is fine, but say the words.
Ready?
First phrase, say it with me. That's a good question.
One more time, a little slower. That's a good question.
Feel how it lands. Now the next one.
Let me think about that for a second.
Again, let me think about that for a second.
Good. Now this one. Feel the confidence in it. Well, actually...
Once more. Well, actually...
Yes. Do you feel something different when you say that? There's a calmness in those words, a steadiness.
That is not an accident. These phrases are small anchors. They bring you back to calm when the panic starts to rise.
Use them every single day in every conversation until they become automatic and the panic becomes less.
Now, here's the part where things get really interesting. And I'll be honest with you, this is the part that most English courses never teach.
You've bought time. Good. You didn't freeze. The silence didn't swallow you. But now you still have to speak.
And this is where a completely different mistake happens. Want to know what it is?
The search for the perfect word.
When you don't know a word, or when a word slips away from you in the middle of a sentence, most learners do something that quietly destroys the conversation. They stop and they search, deeply and desperately, digging through every corner of their memory.
And while they're digging, the conversation is dying. The air between the two people gets heavier. The other person starts looking uncomfortable.
And the learner feels it, and the panic doubles.
And the next time they're in a conversation, they remember that moment and they're even more afraid.
So what is the answer? What do great speakers actually do when a word escapes them?
They go around it.
They talk around the word. They describe it. They paint a picture of it with simpler words. And the other person almost always understands immediately.
And here's what nobody tells you. This skill, talking around a word, it is not a beginner skill. It is not a desperate skill. It is an advanced communication skill. The best speakers in the world do this.
Let me show you. Imagine you forget the word schedule.
Instead of freezing, you say, the plan, the list of times, when things happen.
Instantly understood, perfectly clear, and you never had to stop speaking.
Or imagine you can't find the word exhausted. Instead of silence, you say, I'm so tired, like I can't even lift my arms tired.
And honestly, that sounds more real than exhausted ever would.
Because it has feeling in it. It has a human voice.
Perfect English is not always the most human English.
And human English, warm, real, a little imperfect, that is what connects people.
Remember this. Communication is not about finding the perfect word. It is about being understood.
Slowly one more time, because this one deserves to land. Communication is not about finding the perfect word. It is about being understood.
That sentence alone, if you truly believe it, will set you free in every English conversation you ever have. Okay, roleplay time. Situation number 1.
And listeners, don't just watch this. Follow along. Ask yourself, what would I say here?
The setting. You walk into a coffee shop. Small, busy, a little noisy. You know what you want, but you weren't expecting a question you didn't prepare for.
I'll be the person behind the counter. Ready?
Ready.
Hi there. What can I get for you today? And will that be for here or to go?
Let me see. I'd like a medium coffee, hot please, and to go. Yes, to go.
Of course. Would you like any milk or sugar with that?
Just a little milk. Thank you.
Perfect. Coming right up.
Cutscene. Now let's talk about what just happened.
The learner didn't have a perfect script memorized. They didn't use advanced vocabulary. They paused when they needed to. They kept sentences short.
And the order was placed. The conversation worked. The connection was made. That is not a small thing. That is the whole game.
And if that scenario made you feel something, a little nervousness, a little familiarity, good. That means it's real. That means it's practice.
Now, I want to talk about something that almost nobody mentions when they talk about speaking English, but it might be the most quietly powerful thing in this entire episode.
Your breath.
When you get nervous, your breathing changes. It gets shorter, faster, shallower, little quick breaths that don't quite reach the bottom of your lungs.
And when you breathe like that, your voice changes too. It gets tighter, higher. Your words come out in a rush, crowded together, harder to understand.
And the other person might say, "Sorry, could you say that again?"
And something inside you sinks, because now you have to repeat yourself, and the pressure doubles.
All of that from a change in breathing.
So here is the fix, and it takes less than 3 seconds. Before you speak, just one slow breath. One. Through your nose, all the way in.
Let's do it right now, together.
Breathe in, slowly.
Soft pause.
Hand out.
Soft pause. Did you feel your shoulders drop? Did you feel your jaw relax, even just a little?
That is the state you want to speak from. Not from panic, not from tension. From that.
One breath before every important sentence. It sounds small, it changes everything.
Can I share something a little personal?
Please.
I noticed when I was working on speaking English more seriously, there was a long period where I had nobody to practice with. No class, no tutor, no native speaker friend.
That sounds lonely.
It was, but I found something that helped more than I expected. I started practicing in my mind. I would imagine conversations. Someone asks me a question, I answer. In English, slowly, in my head.
Mental rehearsal.
Exactly. And at first it felt a little silly, like, is this really doing anything? But then something started happening. When real conversations came, they felt less foreign, less surprising, like I had been there before.
And there's actually science behind this. Athletes have used this for decades. They call it visualization. And research shows that when you practice something vividly in your imagination, your brain builds real pathways, real memory, real readiness.
Your brain cannot always tell the difference between something you imagined clearly and something you actually experienced.
So you are training, even in silence, even alone, even in the dark before you fall asleep.
And for our listeners, try this tonight. Before you sleep, imagine someone asking you, "How was your day?" and answer them, in your mind, in English. Take your time, use simple words, see the conversation go well.
Because your brain will remember that it went well, and next time it will feel just a little more possible. All right, let's talk about one more mistake. And this one, I say this with so much kindness. This one is very, very common.
What is it?
Translating in your head first.
Ah, yes.
You think the full sentence in your first language. You build it carefully. Then you translate each word into English, and then you speak.
And the problem isn't just that it's slow, though it is slow. The problem is that it produces sentences that feel slightly wrong, like a photo that's slightly out of focus. Almost right, but not quite.
Because languages don't sit on top of each other perfectly. The structure is different, the rhythm is different. What sounds natural in one language sounds strange translated word by word into another.
So what do you do instead?
You stop thinking in sentences and you start thinking in ideas.
Ask yourself one question, not how do I say this in English, but what is the main thing I want to say?
Strip it down to the core, the single most important point, and say that simply.
Instead of building the sentence, I would really appreciate it if we could continue this conversation at a later and more convenient time.
You say, "Can we talk later? I need a moment."
Same idea, completely clear, and it came out in 2 seconds instead of 10.
Think in ideas. Speak in simple sentences. Be understood. That is the whole system.
Second repeat after me moment. These are real phrases, real everyday English, and you are going to use them. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but soon.
Someone asks, "How are you?" Instead of the automatic, "Fine, thank you," try this. "I'm doing well, thanks. How about you?"
Say it. I'm doing well, thanks. How about you?
Good. Feels warmer, right? More real. Next one. Someone asks, "Did you understand that?" And you're not completely sure. Say this.
I think so. Could you explain that part again, please?
Again, "I think so. Could you explain that part again, please?"
Keep that one close to you. It is honest, it is polite, and it keeps the door open, instead of nodding when you're lost and falling further behind.
Last one. Someone says, "Your English is really improving." Don't wave it away. Don't say, "Oh no, it's terrible." Say this.
Thank you so much. I've been practicing every day.
Say it and mean it. Thank you so much. I've been practicing every day.
Because you have been, and that matters, and you deserve to say so. Can we talk about confidence for a moment? Because I think there's a very common and very painful misunderstanding about it.
Yes, please say it.
Most learners believe that confidence comes after fluency, that the sequence is study, become fluent, then feel confident.
But that's not how it works, is it?
It's almost exactly backwards. Confidence doesn't wait for fluency. Confidence builds fluency. When you decide, even imperfectly, even nervously, to speak, something small gets built inside you. A small record of, I tried, I did it, I survived.
And your brain keeps that record, and the next time it shows it to you. Remember? You did it before.
But if you wait, if you keep telling yourself, I'll speak when I'm ready, the waiting itself becomes the habit, and the silence grows heavier every single day.
And the longer you wait, the bigger the conversation feels, the more impossible the first word becomes.
So the goal is not to be perfect before you speak. The goal is to speak and become better through the speaking.
Try again. That is the whole secret. Not succeed perfectly. Try again.
Every messy conversation is worth more than 100 perfect conversations in your head.
Roleplay number 2. A little more real, a little more relatable.
I'll be a colleague at work. You're having a difficult moment and you need help, but asking for help in English feels vulnerable.
Because it does. Let's be honest about that.
Hey, you look a little stressed. Everything okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Actually, can I ask you something?
Of course. What's up?
I'm working on this report, and there's one part, the numbers. I think something's not right, but I'm not sure how to fix it. Could you maybe look at it later?
Absolutely. Just send it over whenever you're ready.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Scene. Now, what made that work?
Short sentences, honest words, a breath before speaking, no pretending, no overcomplicating.
And asking for help, which, let's be very clear about this, is not weakness.
In any language, in any culture, in any workplace, the ability to ask for help clearly and kindly, that is a communication skill, a real and valuable one.
And you just practiced it. Before we close, one final thing, and this might stay with you longer than anything else we've said today.
I am listening.
Stop waiting for the perfect moment to speak English. Because the perfect moment is not coming, not the way you're imagining it. The moment where your grammar is perfect, where your vocabulary is complete, where you feel calm and confident before you even open your mouth.
That moment does not exist, and every day you wait for it is a day the language stays distant.
But here's what does exist. Every single day, without exception, small moments, small openings, a question someone asks, a conversation you could join, a sentence you could say out loud while watching a video.
Those small moments, those are the practice.
Not the big, perfect, prepared moments, the small, real, slightly messy ones.
And when you stop reacting to those moments with fear and start responding to them with calm, that is when the language starts to move, really move.
Not someday, now. Your practice for today, just 2 things, small, specific, doable.
Task 1. Sometime today, it can be any moment, when someone asks you something, pause for 1 full second before you answer. Just 1 second, even in your own language. Feel what that pause creates.
You are teaching your nervous system what responding feels like. You are building the habit in your body, not just in your mind.
Task 2. Tonight, before you sleep, have a short conversation in your imagination. Someone asks you, "What did you do today?" And you answer them, in English, simply, slowly, and let it go well.
Because your brain will remember that it went well, and it will carry that memory into your next real conversation.
2 things, that's all. But if you do them, really do them, you will feel something shift by this time tomorrow.
We are at the end of today's episode, and if you made it here, all the way here, then I want you to hear this clearly.
You did something real today. You showed up. You listened. You practiced. In a world full of distractions pulling at you from every direction, you chose to spend this time on yourself, on your growth.
That is not nothing. That is everything.
Language learning is not a race with a finish line. It is more like a river, always moving, always changing, sometimes fast and sometimes slow, but always going somewhere.
And you are in that river, moving, even when it doesn't feel like it, even on the hard days, even on the quiet days.
You are moving.
So take today's message and hold it lightly. You don't have to be perfect. You never did. You just have to be present and willing and brave enough to try once more.
React less, respond more. Breathe first, speak simply. Be understood.
And when the next conversation comes, whether it's in 5 minutes or 5 hours, remember what you practiced here.
Take your breath. Use your phrase. Think in ideas. Speak simply.
And use this in your next conversation. Not someday, this one, the next one.
You are more ready than you think. We will see you in the next episode.
Take care of yourself and keep going.
Bye for now.
Bye.